Sustainability Week is coming up in Pokemon Go, and in this video I will be going through all of the details for the event. I'll also be going through some tips including how to get fast best buddies, and I'll be going through which Pokemon are worth focusing. So the event starts on April 22nd at 10 AM and ends on April 26th at 8 PM local time. The bonuses for the event will be increased frequency of buddy Pokemon bringing you souvenirs and presents, your buddy will spend more time on the map after feeding it, and the distance to earn buddy hearts will be halved. So one of the main focuses for this event is hatching eggs, and there are 2-kilometer event eggs available, which will contain Combee, Drillbur, Trubbish, Fungus, and Binnacle, all of which have an increased shiny rate when hatched from these eggs. So there weren't any featured wild encounters for this event on the announcement, but there is a Rediscover Kanto event starting on the same day as Sustainability Week, which there aren't any details on yet, so I would imagine the wild spawns during Sustainability Week will be Kanto spawns. In field research you will be able to encounter Combee, Drillbur, Trubbish, Binnacle, and rarely Fungus. There will also be event themed collection challenges rewarding Stardust and XP, and there'll be some Pokestop showcases available, so keep an eye out for those. In 1-star raids will be Phantump, Nincada, Cottony, Marini, and Grimer. In 3-star raids will be Granbull, Swadloon, Crobat, and Bombardier. In 5-star raids will be Tapu Bulu up until the 25th at 10 AM, and then Registeel will take over. And in Mega raids will be Mega Heracross up until the 25th at 10 AM, then Mega Aggron will be taking over. I will be going through the raids that are worth doing and some counters for the 5-star and Mega raid bosses later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. But first, let's have a look at some tips to help you make the most of this event. So as all of the event bonuses are buddy focused, this event will be a great time to work on getting best buddies, especially if you still need 10 best buddies for the shiny Jirachi research. But what are the benefits of having best buddy Pokemon? So having a buddy at great buddy level will allow it to assist you when you're catching a Pokemon. This means that if you throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon and it bounces off, there is a good chance that the buddy will hit the ball back, giving you an extra chance to catch that Pokemon. It will also be able to find presents for you which contain some basic items. When your buddy gets to ultra buddy level, it can find locations for you on the map, and it can bring you souvenirs which really are just collectibles, they aren't used for anything. But when your buddy brings you a present or a souvenir, it gives you an extra heart when you open it. And lastly, getting to best buddies will give your Pokemon a best buddy ribbon, and it will give the Pokemon a CP boost when it's your active buddy. So to earn buddy hearts from some activities, you do need to feed your Pokemon enough so that it starts to follow you on the overworld map. Once the Pokemon is on the map screen, you can get hearts for activities like walking a certain distance with your buddy, doing a route, and battling together. Once on the overworld map, the Pokemon will stay there for around 3 hours if you fed it berries, or 6 hours if you fed it with a Puffin. And during this event, the buddy Pokemon will be staying on the overworld map for longer periods of time, so you won't have to feed them as often. This means you can earn hearts from overworld activities for longer periods of time without having to feed the Pokemon again. It's good to note that if you do walk a certain distance with your buddy, depending on the species of Pokemon, you can earn some candy and also some Mega Energy if you have Mega evolved a Pokemon of that species before. Although you don't have to have the Pokemon on the overworld map with you to earn the candy and Mega Energy. Getting more hearts with a Pokemon in a certain period of time can put it into the excited state where the distance you need to walk to get candy is reduced. The excited state also allows you to earn more hearts with your buddy than you normally can. To reach the excited state, you can feed your buddy a Puffin, which you get from AR scanning field research tasks and from the in-game shop. But if you don't have any Puffins to give your buddy, you can get your Pokemon excited by interacting with it enough in a certain period of time. Getting to excited state requires you to get 32 emotional points with your Pokemon in a certain period of time. So a good method to do this is to first swap into the buddy that you want to get best buddies with, because that'll give you some points with that buddy. Then you should feed your buddy, take a snapshot of it, and battle with it. Then set a 30-minute timer, and then after the timer goes off, again play with the Pokemon, feed it, take a snapshot, and battle with it again. Then set a 30-minute timer again and repeat the process until the buddy becomes excited. If your buddy is a high enough buddy level, you can also open gifts and souvenirs that it brings you to give you extra points as well. So there are no XP and Stardust bonuses for this event, but you can always use lucky eggs and star pieces to increase your XP and Stardust gains if you're looking to grind them. However, I would recommend saving these premium items for events where there are bonuses so you can stack them. Regarding Stardust, you can encounter Combee, Trubbish, and Fungus from field research during this event, and these Pokemon will give you increased Stardust when they're caught. I would recommend running from these encounters when you have them in your research so they go into your stat, then you can catch all of them together during a Stardust boosted event with a star piece active to maximize your Stardust gains. I would also recommend doing any showcases that you come across, because even if you don't place highly, you still get some XP and Stardust just for taking part. items, and if you do happen to place highly, you can get premium items. When it comes to candy, you can always use peanut berries to increase your candy gains, but you can also mega evolve a Pokemon that is the same type as the Pokemon you're catching to increase the amount of candy XL and XP you get per catch. However, as of this recording, I don't actually know what the wild spawns are going to be for the event, so I can't really give any recommendations on which to mega evolve. So to get to level 49 in Pokemon Go, you do need to have 35 platinum medals, and with the bonuses for this event making it easier and faster to get best buddies, it's a good time to work on your best buddy platinum medal. With there being 2km event eggs that do have a chance of getting shiny boosted Pokemon, it might be worth hatching some of these eggs, which will help you with your breeder platinum medal. It's also worth trying to win showcases to work on your showcase star medal that will reward you with an encounter with PhD Pikachu, and this is the only way to get this variant of Pikachu currently in the game. Also, if you are hunting certain field research tasks for Combee, Trubbish and Fungus for the increased Stardust that they give, completing these research tasks will help you with getting your Pokemon Ranger platinum medal. So with that said, which Pokemon are worth focusing on during this event? So Combee, Trubbish and Fungus are all worth going after, like I mentioned previously, because they do give extra Stardust when caught. None of these Pokemon have any meta relevance though. Drillbur is worth going after because Excadrill is a strong budget ground and steel type attacker, and it's well worth investing in it, especially if you don't have any of the more expensive ground and steel type attackers. For 1-star raid bosses, Phantump is worth going after because Trevenant is a decent budget ghost attacker, especially because you can mirror trade Phantump to reduce its evolution cost to 0. Trevenant is also ranked 48 in the Great League with 0 15-15 IVs, and it is ranked 46 in the Ultra League with 1 15-15 IVs. With the IV floor of raids being 10-10-10, it would be worth mirror trading to try and get a lower attack IV if you're going for the perfect PvP IVs, and this works with the fact that you're probably going to be trading it to reduce the evolution cost as well. Mareanie is another possible target because Toxapex is ranked 37 in the Great League with 0 15-15 IVs, so again, trading to reroll with a low friendship level friend could be worth doing. Moving on to the 3-star raids, I would recommend going for Granbull because it is a decent budget fairy type attacker and it's one of the best in its shadow form. For the 5-star raids and the mega raids, I will be going through some counters for them as well as their meta relevance. So Tapu Bulu has a raid TP of 49,035 and the 100% IVs are 1953 and 2442 boosted in sunny or cloudy weather. Tapu Bulu is weak to flying, steel, fire, ice and double weak to poison type attacks, so I highly recommend using poison types. This Pokemon will be soloable with the best counters at high levels, but if you don't have these, then I recommend taking another person, especially for party power. The best mega counters will be Beedrill, Gengar and Rayquaza. The best shadow counters are Toxicroak, Victory Bell and Vileplume. The best legendary and ultra beast counters will be Nihilego and Rayquaza, and the best budget counters will be Roserade, Revavroom, Overquill, Toxicroak, Gengar and Victory Bell. Tapu Bulu will know legacy move Nature's Madness when caught from these raids, and it is currently ranked 53 in the Master League, but it does want Nature's Madness to be at its best, so it's worth raining it now whilst it has this move, otherwise it will cost you an Elite TM if you want to get it in the future. For Registeel, it has a raid CP of 33,516 and the 100% IVs are 1398 and 1748 boosted in snowy weather. Registeel is weak to fighting, ground and fire type attacks, and it will take around 3 or 4 trainers to beat on average. The best mega and primal counters are Groudon, Blaziken and Charizard Y. The best shadow counters will be Chandelure, Groudon and Moltres. The best legendary and mythical counters are Reshiram, Terrakion and Keldeo, and the best budget counters are Chandelure, Lucario, Darmanitan, Excadrill, Conkeldurr and Blaziken. So if you are a Go Battle League player, Registeel is definitely a must-have because it is currently ranked 1 in both the Great League and the Ultra League, so I do recommend raiding this one a lot to get candy for it to get a second move. It does also want Zap Cannon to be at its best, which is a legacy move, and it won't have it when caught from these raids, so you will need to use an Elite Charge TM to get it. But to be honest, if you are a PvP player, then this is probably a good target for an Elite TM. For the Mega raids, Mega Heracross has a raid CP of 51,078, and the 100% IVs for Heracross will be 1772 and 2215 boosted in rainy or cloudy weather. Mega Heracross is weak to fire, psychic, fairy and double weak to flying type attacks, so I highly recommend using flying types. This raid is soloable with the best counters at high levels. So the best mega counters for Mega Heracross are Rayquaza, Pidgeot and Charizard Y. The best shadow counters will be Moltres, Ho-Oh and Staraptor. The best legendary counters will be Rayquaza, Enamorus and Yveltal, and the best budget counters will be Staraptor, both Braviary, Unpheasant, Bombardier and Honchkrow. Honchkrow. Mega Heracross is the best bug type and fighting type Pokemon in the game, so well worth raiding. Heracross is also a regional exclusive to South America, Southern Florida and Texas, so a great time to get this Pokemon for the dex if you haven't got it yet. And for Mega Aggron, it has a raid CP of 46,233, and the 100% IVs for Aggron are 1714 and 2143 boosted in snowy or partly cloudy weather. Mega Aggron is weak to fighting, ground and fire types, and it should take around 2 or 3 trainers to beat on average. The best Mega and Primal counters are Groudon, Blaziken and Garchomp. The best Shadow counters are Groudon, Excadrill and Machamp. The best Legendary and Mythical counters will be Terrakion, Reshiram and Keldeo, and the best budget counters will be Lucario, Excadrill, Conkeldurr, Machamp, Emboar and Blaziken. Mega Aggron is a top 10 Steel type attacker, but it's not really a priority to go after unless you don't have access to a Mega Steel type yet. So if you want to know which Team Go Rocket members give you the strongest Pokemon and which field research can give you the strongest Pokemon, then you should check out these videos next.